Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Sunday, October the 6th. It's race number 9 at Keeneland, and it's a Grade 1 prep for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. This is the Spinster going 1 1/8 miles. $600,000 is the purse. Before we take a look at the entry card, remember that we've got a great deal for DRFTV viewers, 10% off all past performances. The coupon code is DRFTV10. Let's take a look at the field for the Juddmonte Spinster. 6 in here, Mike, including last year's Spinster winner, last year's Breeders' Cup Distaff winner, Idiomatic. Is Idiomatic as good as she was in 2023? A, and B, does she need to be to win the Spinster?
Probably, I don't know if she needs to be to beat this field, Dan. That's a valid question to ask, I guess, whether or not she's quite as good at 5 as she was at 4. I'll just say this. Based on her last race, the Personal Ensign, she's as good.
She ran a super race last year. It's funny to ask that question. She was so sensational last year, going 8 for 9. She's run 4 times this year, 2 wins and 2 seconds, both in photo finishes. She's still very good. She's still way the horse to beat at a short price in the Spinster, but I'm a little surprised that Timeform US doesn't have Idiomatic on the lead in the Spinster. Here's our Timeform US pace projector. Loved. The number 3 is a pretty quick horse. She's been on the lead in races like the Molly Pitcher and the Double Dog Dare, and she is getting blinkers again for Brendan Walsh, but I would think that Idiomatic's not going to play any games from the rail.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, we'll see how Florangeur decides to play it. Certainly, it does seem like, and Loved is a pretty quick horse, so maybe they're just on ascendant here, but it kind of feels like if Giroux wants to lead with Idiomatic, he'll get her there.
If the pace is hot, you might want to keep an eye on the number 2, Candied. She's a 3-year-old filly taking on older horses, but she has the fastest Timeform US late pace rating. Mike talked about Idiomatic's excellent effort in the Personal Ensign last time out. Just consider she was involved in a wicked speed duel with the quality randomized for the first 5 furlongs. You see randomized in the red and white cap just sputtering for air right now. Idiomatic opened up a clear lead, but she's getting tired from her early efforts. And this is a pretty good mare, Raging Sea, that gets her with the right pace setup.
Yeah, just really Raging Sea. Nothing wrong with her, but she really took advantage here. Idiomatic clearly ran the best race in there. It's an absolutely brutal beat. Her prior races, I did feel like they kind of maybe left a little something to be desired. But man, she ran really well last time. It's kind of amazing, Dan. There are really no bad races on her card. She's really, really good.
The number 2, Candied, has done some excellent work at Keeneland in her career. She won the Grade 1 Alcibiades as a 2-year-old filly. And Mike, I know you and I have been waiting for her to sort of take that step forward at 3, and I think she's slowly doing so. She was a little bit green earlier in her career, but she ran just fine in this Grade 1 Alabama, or Torpedo Anna Less Alabama, where Candied was the favorite, makes the lead at the 3/16 pole, and is a game second to Power Squeeze, herself an underrated 3-year-old filly.
Yeah, I like the way that she digs in here. Dan, she does take over. She really fights when Power Squeeze comes for her in here, and she just comes away narrowly second. But she made the first move around the final turn, so maybe that had something to do with it. More than anything else, I just felt like Javier Castellano had a great game plan on Power Squeeze there. Just followed her around the track and was able to gun her down. It's 1.25 miles, Dan. So I'm not going to really be too down on her. I like her getting back to a shorter distance here. I know she didn't win the CCA Oaks and didn't even come close. I thought she ran pretty well in there, second best to Torpedo Anna.
Perhaps the number 3, Loved, will show some speed for trainer Brendan Walsh, adding blinkers. She reeled off 3 consecutive wins in 2023 by open lengths, deserved a shot in some stakes races, and came up a little bit short. She did win a stake at Horseshoe Indianapolis 2 starts back, rating from off of the pace after breaking a little bit slow. They ran her in the Locust Grove last time out. That was kind of a disappointing performance. I'm assuming Brendan's putting the blinkers on to wake her up a little bit.
Yeah, me too. We'll see what happens here. I mean, she obviously has a lot to prove here. I felt like early on last year, like she had a lot of potential, and maybe there was a chance that she was gonna, sort of factor in some of these bigger races down the line. And for whatever reason, again, it just hasn't happened yet. She's got to up her game if she's going to beat this field.
Honor Delaney, the number 4, has come up with a couple of big efforts this year for Saffie Joseph, 2 graded stakes races, including this race, the Delaware Handicap at 1.316 where she set a nice trip in stalking range, took over the lead on the second turn, and then holds off perhaps a distance and class challenged foe in Saddle Up Jessie. Honor Delaney tried Candied 2 starts back, but give her an excuse for that race. She stumbled badly at the start.
Yeah, we'll see. This race that we're watching right now, I mean, this is obviously the sort of easiest kind of win for her. It was also a very, very weak field, and there was almost like she couldn't lose. You're right about her race 2 starts back, though, Dan. If you go back and watch the replay of that, I mean, listen, Candied absolutely galloped in that race, but this horse did stumble badly at the start.
Beau Draw, the number 5, is likely going to be the longest shot on the board, and deservedly so. Third last time out when entered for a $100,000 claiming option. Her buyer speed figures simply pale in comparison to the main contenders.
Yeah, I don't see how she could possibly win this race.
Occult is a horse going out for Chad Brown that has occasionally shown flashes. She won the Monmouth Oaks last year by about 10 lengths, ran an okay third in the Cotillion, and then there are times when Occult underperforms. I'm curious as to your thoughts of her last race. She's odds on going a mile out of the chute at Saratoga. She bobbled very lightly out of the gate, wound up in the pocket, gets to the outside. It looks like she's going to inhale this speed horse, but flattens out late. Now, I thought this track might have favored speed. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. This is a huge speed track. Big advantage to the horse on the lead here, who, by the way, didn't have to go a fast pace at all and was loose. But yeah, speed was just really carrying, particularly the first 4. I think there were only 5 dirt races that day. The first 4 of them, you were on the lead the rail, you were winning. That's all there was to it. So Occult, she ran fine in there. That's a distance that's probably a little shorter than she wants to go anyway. She's fine going 9 furlongs. I mean, she's also has something to prove here, Dan. It's not like she's run any, super fast races, but I think she's pretty good.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for this Breeders' Cup Distaff Prep at Keeneland. You're going with Idiomatic, and why not? She's simply the horse to beat. She's the most likely winner by a long way, and personally, I'd like to see her win and then match up with Torpedo Anna in the Breeders' Cup Distaff.
Me too. Listen, I know she's been making, sort of close work of it so far this year, not really dominating. I still think she's a lot better than these horses.
Occult has to take a significant step forward if she's going to threaten Idiomatic, but she was against the bias last time out, and once in a while she hints at some potential. Maybe if she goes off at something like 5-1, I take a small stab, but even then it's tough to oppose Idiomatic. 1623 for Mike, 6124 for me. It's the Grade 1 Juddmonte Spinster at Keeneland on Sunday. Good luck.
Hey friends, you look like you're in need of a winner. If you enjoyed the great content right here, just click and subscribe right here and enjoy the great DRF.com Race of the Days, the phenomenal stakes previews, and so much more. Many of that content featuring me and my exceptional selections. Trust me, you won't regret it.